G'day, I'm Ash. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. This is the dev server for War Thunder Update Raining Fire, also known as 1.01. Disappointed that we didn't go to War Thunder 2.0, but hey, that doesn't necessarily matter. There are a heap of changes, and there are a lot of new vehicles coming, so we're going to quickly breeze through and have a look, and we'll discuss some of the changes. Now, notably, first off, everything is subject to change. Let me make that clear. The first major change is that they've actually split the fighter and some of the aircraft lineups in the US tech tree. As you know, it was sort of all bundled together. They've split apart the P-26s into their own line, and the P-36s are now in their own line, giving it sort of a fighter versus, fighter lineup. Obviously, some of the other aircraft have been unfolded. Here you've got the naval line for some of the things, and it's just really streamlined the tech tree as a whole. And the P-61 has moved over into the attacker line. Makes sense considering it gets an attacker spawn, and everything seems to be a little more streamlined. And I have a feeling this is something to do with the fact that the F-104s in the previous patches were shoved over the left-hand side on their own. So this could allow for more vehicles, such as more Sentry jets, or even, fill out some of the other gaps in between. America gets 2 aircraft, the P-47D-22RE, which is a Rank 3 battle rating 4.3, with 12.7mm guns and the same sort of ordnance loadout you'd expect from P-47. Fans who have been asking for the Razorback series of P-47s, well, your day is here, and boy, this model is utterly gorgeous. Other than that, America also gets the YP-38, a Rank 2 battle rating 3.0, with a heap of ordnance in the nose, a 37 and 2 12.7s and 7.62 guns, as well as an early sort of version of the P-38 with a very streamlined looking engine and body. Oh, goodness me, it is certainly shiny. Other changes include the fact that a lot of other vehicles, particularly in US naval aircraft, have been equipped with the Mark 13 Mod 0 sea mines. The PV-2D, the OS-2Us, the PBYs, the B-2D-1, the PBM Marina, the SBDs, and the SBT-3. Now, these models are a little bit glitchy at the moment, not fully worked on, so I'm not going to show them on screen, but we will have naval mines for those who play their naval aircraft in, well, Navy battles. Ugh. Germany gets access to an Il-28. There you go, it is an Il-28. This is the only aircraft that Germany gets so far. However, we don't know if there's anything else coming. This is just, I guess, a filler tree. It sits underneath the Il-28. It sits underneath the Arado 234s, and I guess it just fills that need for a ground attacker of slightly higher speeds than the Arados. Russia gets the Su-7BKL. As far as I can tell, this is another advanced version of the Su-7B. We've already got one in game. It sits directly below it. If we can scroll down here. The Su-7B, I haven't fully even got it yet, and I haven't even tried this vehicle out anyway. Armed with 30mm cannons, it seems the cannon type hasn't changed. The ammunition type hasn't changed for the regular default guns. But this is a slightly more advanced version. I don't think it has radar. I just don't think it's modelled at the moment. Armour-wise, it's basically the same as the previous model. X-ray-wise, it is exactly identical as well. Modifications, I'm not entirely sure compared to the previous one. However, you do get access to a whole heap of ordnance, as you can see on screen. About that, this is the only jet that Russia really gets this patch so far. But it's good to see some more ground attackers coming. This is a consistent theme, keep this in mind. This patch is all about those close air support vehicles. Great Britain, unfortunately, doesn't have anything, and unfortunately, the Boomerang Mark II and the Mark I haven't had their flight models distinguished between them. I'm not going to rant about that, that'll be a 20-minute video on its own, but essentially, in the files, there has been stuff that has been spotted. For example, there is this. This is what UK could be getting in a next dev server episode. This is the Jaguar Spepcat. I think that's how I'm pronouncing it correctly. Essentially, it's a version or a joint project with France and the UK where they developed a ground attacker. Now, as a list of ordnance goes, this thing is pretty self-explanatory. Let me just zoom in here. Some different types of bombs, default rockets, the Magics. I believe that is for the French version, so that's going to be interesting, and even Mantra missiles. This thing is going to be an absolute clubber if that is the case. So yeah, as you can see right here, a decent aircraft that possibly will be coming in the next edition of the dev server, so just hold out, you fans of British aviation. I completely forgot to mention, but UK does get another aviation vehicle. It is a premium Thunderbolt Mark 1, and oh my goodness, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Rank 3, battle rating 4.3, again, same similar setup to the previous P47. Oh my god, it is gorgeous. I can't wait to fly this thing myself. I don't know why. It's just the camouflage. I don't know. Yep, that's it. Utterly fantastic. Alright. Fans of Japanese aviation, get a B6N2. Well, not precisely a cockpit model for a B6N2. Unfortunately, there isn't anything else to add at this current stage for Japan. China gets what you would assume to be another MiG-19. In fact, that's exactly what this is. However, it is not at the same time. This is the Q5 Early, and while there was other variants of the Q5 with air-to-air ordnance, the version we're getting in-game is predominantly made for ground pounding. Max speed of 1444 kilometers an hour, so decently quick. Let's have a look at the modifications real quick. The 23mm guns it's got with 240 rounds. Armoured targets, air targets and stealth, as well as regular. And then the expanded weapons, if you have a look, there are some Type 90-1 heat rockets, times 14 in each gun pod. That's okay, that's pretty interesting. And then there's also this mixed bombs/guns sort of configuration here. As you can sort of see, the rocket pods and the bombs mounted to the external fuselage there. Otherwise, a particularly interesting aircraft sitting directly below the F-84 G-21. Again, following with the theme of the ground pounding, what could we see next? Who knows? It's yet to be seen, and unfortunately, we've only got one aircraft left to go. Sweden only gets one aircraft. This is a rank 1 battle rating 1.3, and if you can believe it, this thing really does float. It's essentially, what it is a light bomber/hydroplane, and I can see this thing being immense fun as a bit of a seal clubber sort of vehicle with two 8mm guns. Yep, two 8mm guns, almost like the French 6.5s, except they're slightly bigger, and 50kg bomb times 9. So there's that, as well as an 8mm turret at the rear. Other modifications, there are none. Everything is basically completely stock. You do get armoured targets for the gunner, universal and stealth. Oh, and before I go, I should note that all the Phantoms are getting Sparrows except the FG Mark 1. That is also another change. So let's have a look at the US air tree really quickly. We need to have a look at the Phantom 2 and the modifications. We have a look at the expanded thing. So where is it? AIM-9 7Es. There you go, the Sparrows. There you go. That's a thing. The Mirage 3 is getting a radar version of its big R530 missile. And also, as I mentioned, France is getting a version of the Jaguar, or the Jaguar, with Magics. But I think that about wraps up the conclusion to the first edition of the dev server. I'll probably play these vehicles more in depth for videos later down the line, so stay tuned. There might be a few videos out today. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and also, do be sure to check the patch notes. They'll be pinned in the comments down below, and do let me know what you think of this patch so far. And is there anything you're wishing for, or any things that you are excited to look at? But with that ado, I wish I had my new microphone set up, ready to go. I'm still waiting on an XLR cable and a mixer to arrive. But my goodness me, I'm staring at this radio broadcast quality microphone that's just sitting beside me on my desk and thinking, yeah, the timing's not quite right, is it? Anyway, considering everything arrives tomorrow. But by the second dev server, everything will be changed. Anyway, Fortnite. Catch you next time.